Hi, welcome. On this video, I'm going to be, again, working with Conrad on part of the board and training process. This is day number 3, and the focus has been on more working the basic method within low, distracting type of areas, and with Conrad coming into more and more agreement with the method, okay, with the approach, which he has, and he's doing really, really well. Now, in this video, I'm actually going to be moving to the outside. Okay, I'm going to be going down the street a little ways to begin to work the method or advance the method in a more distracting environment with other vehicles going by, people, dogs, whatever goes on. But the focus right here is on just really keeping it kind of short and sweet. Okay, I'm not going to be going. This is the first time working him in that type of environment, even though I have had him outside the area here, going to the bathroom, and there's been other dogs that have come out, and really working on intercepting, okay, how he's investing that way, and he's becoming more and more agreeable to that. So I'm going to be bringing him out here in just a moment, and I'm going to be hooking the GoPro up to my neck, so I just have to use both hands, so it may be a little shaky, may not have great picture, but I'm going to be talking through it. Hopefully you'll be able to see some of what's going on. But so what I'm going to do here is going to be walking down the street a little ways. I'll be taking my time. So when you're doing this type of thing, understand it's about the integrity of the method. You don't want to go fast, okay? I mean that will happen naturally, but you want to make sure that when you're doing the method is as much as possible, okay, doing just one step, because the one step, just like you think about when you first start driving a vehicle, or if you taught your son or daughter, okay, when they've gotten their permit or whatever to drive a vehicle, it's all about focus, slowing down. When you go too fast, it changes in focus, and then that's when bad things start happening, right? So you want to just easy, slow, right, good focus, because that helps you focus on what matters. So here, the focus is on where the mind is traveling, okay, not on distance, okay. Distance comes through, okay, as the dog releases control, becomes more of a follower, then we can start to go more and more, and even if you want to jog with your dog, okay, that's great. All those things, but then it's going to be a really great picture, because it's going to be, you're going to be fading in the right way. So here, you want to line this up so that for as much as possible, and we'll talk about this, you're doing the one-step method. When you have the time, when you have a few minutes of really good focus. And then what you can do, and again, this is part of where people say, well, Dad, what about real life? I have to quickly take my dog to the bathroom or whatever's going on. Well, yes, of course, you're going to just have to go faster, right? As part of the, part of what's going on, and just real life stuff. But at least, here's the principle. Okay, when you're doing the one step as much as you can, when you have the time, you have good focus, say you come home from work and you have, a few minutes and really just work on it that way. What happens is between the blending of both, between, say, if you're doing like 40% of really good integrity through one step and 60% of just the real life, it mirrors it together, okay? It helps to really bring it together so it lines it up. And here's the thing, but when the 60%, when you have to move faster, right, at least keep your dog right beside you and be more active with the leash, okay, with really nudging your dog back, stopping at least a couple times, okay? So just understand it's about how this transitions into real life. So here the focus is on, for me, in terms of the training process, is going to be a lot of just the one step, okay, because I'm investing that way. And because this is a type of training environment, and so I'm going to transition Conrad out onto the street, and my focus is just on the one step. And then there's times that, you are going, here's the other transition, when you are going, wanting to start to move faster, when a dog is doing much better staying beside you and you're fading in, truly fading in, then, there's times that you want to slow down anyway and just do a series of one steps and blend it that way. A little bit going faster, some one steps, and then, going faster again. Because it's all helpful. It all helps really to make sure that you're establishing, okay, a great foundation, and your dog truly is going to start to release more and more control. And this gets into off leash. Okay, so people wonder, well, how can I get my dog off leash and so that I'm going to be faded in really well? Well, that's part of it. Okay, and then the other part of it is doing the circle method, which you'll see me do on the videos with going off leash with dogs, because that's a highly focused exercise. And then you can, if the dog is big enough, you can start to take your hand off at times as you're doing the method. So here, you can bring Conrad out. You'll see me do it, but when I'm doing it, again, it's the same premise. Is really making sure you have good focus, and you're keeping really good integrity with the method here. So I'm going to bring him out. Just give me a sec. The other thing too is when you're doing this, and again, I'll use a remote collar specifically for, bring him out here. I'll use a remote collar specifically for the crate, okay? And so I'll take it off when Conrad comes out and doing an exercise like this. I'll remove the remote collar because it's really important. That's just a tool that I'm using specifically for the crate, okay? The dogs are pushing. They're really trying to either get out of the crate, expressing a lot of control inside the crate. I'll use the vibration to help to nudge them back, to get them to calm down a little bit and begin to settle, okay? So again, I'll take the remote collar off when I'm doing an exercise like this. But again, notice here I still have, the pressure collar. We're still using the choke chain. It's up high in his neck. But again, it's understanding it's proactive. So because, again, based on how you're using a tool such as the choke chain, okay, you're not waiting. I'm not waiting for his mind to explode, okay? I'm in tune to how the level he's investing, so that I'm nudging it ahead of the curve of his mind. So it's more effective that way. So even here, just as he moves out a little bit, I'm not in a panic about that either. It becomes out of position. It's all about just bringing him under moments of influence, so he comes into agreement with these interactions, okay? So I'm keeping him beside me, okay, within what I call the staging area here, and I'm just keep nudging him in. He's going to move outside of it, he's going to, based on control, he's going to have that level of response, right? But even here, just a little tap, just at times, just to get his attention, because again, when dogs have control, guess what happens? The mind really starts to push out. Now, I'm going to switch the camera here, I'm going to put it on my neck. As I do this, I'm going to control him, and I'm going to hook this up. Second here, I know you're seeing this and things are bouncing around here a little bit. Okay. And the idea here again is at least give you hopefully a little bit of a bird's eye view here. So now here's the thing, the door comes up, same thing, as we move outside, I'm going to tap the leash even as the door comes up here. He knows the door's come up, I'm nudging him a little bit. I'm turned away from the door here a little bit. So even here, I'm going to nudge him towards opposite here a little bit, okay? Tap a little bit. And nudge him. So I'm facing the opposite direction. The door's up. His tail's wagging. That's just, well, again, it's just really excited. But again, I want him to, when you're going outside, and this is the first time I've done this with him, is I'm going to start to move to the outside, but I'm slowing him down, getting him to go into a sit, tapping a little bit here. You'll see the intensity go up because he's saying, okay, we're going to the outside here. There's lots more stuff here for me to think about, to invest in. And so I'm going to be a little more vigilant here on, this is why it's important just to take your time. Just take one step, tap a little bit here, move forward with him. And this is where the proactive nature of using the pressure collar will avoid dogs choking and going on. You might get a little bit of that, but some of that's really physiological in terms of when a dog has a lot of control. It's like a child making themselves throw up. The mind starts to react to that, and there'll be a lot of, you'll see that. So just be aware of that. Not that you want to see that happening, okay, but reconciling that's important, because what happens is you put too much empathy on how a dog's responding. It'll cause worse issues, because that's still control, okay? You're still releasing the dog, still giving the dog control back. So I call that the twister effect. It sends dog owners into a twister, because they see the dog, you see the young dogs especially will start spinning and yelping, and you're not even touching them. You know, they're just anticipating. They're anticipating influence, them being brought under influence. So it's right here. See, you see how, you know, intense he is. He's pretty intense here. I'm just tapping. I'm just standing right here. Okay, and now the trick of this is, as you do this, when you move outside, kind of cue up on. You want to cue up on if there's something your dog is really fixating on, and then you want to make an adjustment, turn the other way a little bit. So here, I'll turn opposite. If I see a lot of activity, I'm going to turn at a bit of an offset angle. And what that helps to do, it helps to give a better picture. So then, because then he's got to try to turn his head, his body towards whatever he wants to invest in, and then you have a better concept of the issue about fading out. Okay, because the dog's trying to. It's like they're jumping over you. Okay, just try to picture it that way. So fading in's about everything's coming through you. So saying, we might get to meet Pete the squirrel or whatever it is, but through me, right? So I'm not. And when you do this nudging, it's not so it's not so much influence happening where he's taking it like we absolutely cannot ever meet whatever it is. Okay, this is just about creating a conditional state. You know, it's like a red light, green light, yellow light. Same thing. I'm just tapping them back into a sit. So here the goal is just to take my time and go out in my driveway. I'm just moving a little bit here. Traffic's going by, and I'm just stopping, and I'm just nudging just a little bit when he's getting, you know, depending. So, because what I want here is just a normal kind of scanning a little bit, but not high intensity. I want him just to relax and understand that, hey, you know what, we're out here together. This can be a great experience, but you got to be a follower here. You cannot think that. And here's the incredible thing. I mean, when Conrad's owner came to drop him off, we're almost in the area. We were rolling around on the front lawn here, trying to get him under control, because as soon as he got out of the vehicle, he was really so ramped up, wanting to get loose, and that was about to turn into a nightmare scenario. Because if you've ever encountered a situation where you're trying to chase a dog, find a dog that's gotten loose and running down the neighborhood, that's not a good feeling. So, but everything worked out. I got him under control, and then now we're out here, just a couple days after that, and you know, he's so much better. I mean, he's, you know, so much more responsive to accepting control. So, just moving here with him a little bit. Again, tap ahead of time here, so you don't want to delay. Like when you move forward, just take one step. Like I'm doing, I'm just taking one step. I almost one-handing this a little bit. See, so right here, if you ever have a moment where suddenly your dog is really trying to flail around, or you know, the head's moving around quickly a lot, take your time. That's not the time to start to keep moving. Okay, so just, you want, the trick of this is before you move forward, you want a level where the dog is showing that they're agreeable to being a follower. Okay, they're settling down. You don't want to move forward when the dog is already getting out of control or investing. Okay, because then you know it's just going to fall apart anyway. So just take your time when you do this. Take one step. Right here, we're on the grass for a second. Stop. Tap a little bit. So I just want relaxation. The goal here is not distance. Tapping her a little bit. Doing good. You know, because he's used to, you know, Conrad was used to just, he had no boundaries, no limits on him for most of his life. He showed up here from a rescue, so, I mean, he had none of that. And so now he's going, this is very challenging, because as a pit bull, he's going from no rules, no boundaries, no control, to just the opposite. people walking down the street. Taking my time. Like I said, this exercise here isn't about distance. This is about introducing Conrad to the outside. That's it. There we go. Doing good. People walking in. Want to invest a little bit. I'm going to turn the other way. Tap them into a sit. That's the thing too, is you do this if the dog isn't, and this is where you have to kind of assess it. You can see that when you put my bandy back on my finger here. I got a little scratch here. Conrad got little rambunctious here. Nothing major. Forward again. Same thing. He's trying to turn a little bit. I'm two-handing this. And we're going to start to move back. Take your time. We're going to start to move back to the training area here. He's trying to move away from me. So I'm going to come back. I understand. I mean, apologize for the shakiness of this camera. I know that this isn't ideal, but hereafter I'll have the camera set up outside in a stationary spot, and you'll see this much better. So you can see him here. He's pretty relaxed. It's not, he's releasing a lot of control. It's just like how you're using the leash. Like you do this, just kind of see his head turns that way. I'm just going to tap a little bit, just as a reminder. Say, hey, don't get overly invested here. Calm down. We're out. Just relax. We're out here enjoying the outside. It's a great day for this because it's cloudy out right now. It's not hot here in Florida. Yeah, it's probably about 70-some degrees, and it's just perfect. It's probably going to rain, but I wouldn't have a dog out in the heat. Do it either early morning or late